Hi, my name is Najua Allen. First, I would like to say thank you, entrepreneur Mrs. Deborah. I truly thank you for this opportunity. Speaking, I know we all in have breaking normancy because this is not our normal mode. But I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to encourage someone if I can. I met Miss Deborah here in St. Louis, and I know she's in Houston. So once again, hello, Miss Deborah, and hello, everyone. I know you all are probably looking at this shovel. We're going to talk about that shovel in just a couple of minutes, all righty? But my task, the task that I'm going to talk about, something about endurance and determination. And when I talk about endurance and determination, I'm thinking about breaking dormancy. Yes, breaking dormancy. Because if we look around our world right now, there is nothing normal that is going on. But how do we not know that this day and time has not already been set up on purpose by God so that we can break normancy? But first of all, we're going to talk about breaking dormancy. We'll tie normancy into it. Then we're going to talk about what is the purpose of this shovel. I know a lot of people, as we speak, we like to talk about the things that we've accomplished, which is all great. But I think a lot of times we forget to talk about where we came from. Yes, I'm grateful for the degree, but that didn't come without a fight. Me accomplishing my degree, Bachelor of Science, Healthcare Management, didn't come without a fight because at the age of 21, yes, I was looking at 25 years in prison, standing in front of a judge, being young, doing things, living the wild life, having fun, quote unquote, as they say, and looking at 25 years in prison. And I do remember the police officer actually telling me that I would never work a day in banking, I never work around credit cards, and I'd never be able to go to college. Because as you know, even 20 years ago, if you had anything on your record, you didn't even qualify for student loans or even grants. And there's some same things that we're fighting today for the next generation. Because I can only speak for me. I was young. I did things. Now I know that made me who I am. I am not the type of person to say, I wish I would have did this or I wish I would have done that, because I wouldn't be the woman of God that I am today. Still, all of my life still reflects back unto God. Endurance, when I think about the word endurance and thinking about a lifestyle of endurance, it is not your platter with a silver spoon. It's not something that happens overnight. That is the reason why I'm not so caught up in labels and being a front to people and saying that, okay, I made it because I might have drive a quote unquote Benz or wherever I live. That doesn't make me. That doesn't make you either. But it's a tenacity that you had to fight, that you had to go through. Not only as women, but even women of color, minority. We had to fight to get where we're at today. And yet we're still yet fighting. Endurance is not pretty. Of course, yes, we can dress up the outside, just like I dressed up this ugly shovel. And it looks beautiful now. But to fight and endure a fight, it is not pretty. And a lot of times we don't display that. We don't showcase that. And so God said, I'll take your life and I'll take your testimony and I'll put you on display for my glory. Not so people can see labels, not so they can see riches and gold, but they can see where I took rags and I made it into riches. I took something that was shredded and I made it whole. A lot of times when I think about dormancy and the cycle of dormancy is actually, let me slow down. Because dormancy, I know a lot of people, we think about the prefix and the suffix. But dormancy is actually something that is physically alive, yet momentarily and temporarily not moving. Living, but not even existing. Having life in the body as an organism or as an animal, as a person, but still yet not functioning in purpose. When I think about dormancy, I think about plants. There is a good time to be dormant. And I know a lot of times we want to be seen. We think we have to always be busy to be prospering. No, sometimes you need to lie dormant so that God can do what he needs to do. Sometimes he needs to hide you away from the enemy. So all the time he's not setting us up to always be in a fight, to always, as I like to say, to be out front. But sometimes our dormant season is us going back to school and completing our degree. Walking into the next level and telling everyone in the room, It's favor that got me in the room, but I'm here to learn from you. It's letting someone know, thank you for the promotion. Now, can you give me the opportunity to learn? I always tell people that if you want to lead, continue to learn. If you ever want to lead in life, continue to learn. Learn from those when you come in on the basement level of your purpose. Learn from those that are already in the room. Keep yourself humble and continue to learn. One thing about a dormancy and about plants being in a dormancy state, as I look at my life, it's when we've been there too long. When you've been in the dormant season too long. Cobwebs is now over your purpose. You have actually forgot what you were going after of, because we're in a dormant season. A lot of people say, oh, when will we get back to normalcy? How do we not know that God wants to break the normalcy in order to get us to our purpose in life? A lot of things that we're doing now, it is totally out of normalcy. Even though I'm credentialed in teaching virtually, I am not a virtual person. I like to engage. I like to be with people. I like the energy. I love positive energy. So all of this now is new, not only to me, but I'm pretty sure it's new unto you. Breaking dormancy is also not allowing yourself to be a doormat for somebody else. You know those people that every time you might tell your dream or purpose to, or what you want to do in life, oh girl, I want to move here. Oh, I think I want to do this. They always come with, well, that's been done before and it didn't work. So if it didn't work for me, it's not going to work for you. And so you take your purpose and your dreams and place it down back up on the doormat of your insecurity because what your friend or what your family or what your boo may have said. So once again, we're in a dormant state. Now we're someone else's doormat and you're the doormat just laying there. Everyone else is sowing in their purpose, and they're sowing off of your talents, off of your gifts, and off of your skills, because everything that you share, trust me, they're taking the dust of your residue from your doormat, what you could be using for your life. Trust me now, they're using it for theirs, and they'll never give you credit for it. So why not, don't you get up, shake the doormat off of your own life, and get into purpose. If you want to study more on dormancy, you will look at the life cycle that an organism or a plant that goes through. You will find out that a sunflower doesn't start off as a sunflower. A butterfly doesn't start off as a butterfly, because everybody in life has a dormant season to go through and will continue to go through. We will never arrive at a place where we just rest. Not just rest. Because to rest to me is just to, or be relaxed, is to settle. And we're always, even if we've accomplished ours, we want to reach back and pass the baton to someone else. We want to reach back and help the next generation of women and of our young men. We want to reach back, not being judgmental, but being transparent, even saying, you know, I haven't always been in the supervisor role, I have not always been in leadership. It's when you take off your heels and say, you know what, let me tell you where I really came from. Let me describe to you my 5-digit zip code. How do we really break dormancy? Not only off of our life, but off of the generations, off of our family, off of our children's life. Sometimes when a flower or a plant is struggling to come up through the ground, it needs some help. And just like us, we may be struggling in some areas of our life. Have you reached out to anyone to say, hey girl, I need help? I know you may be looking at all of the fashionistic and watching all of the glamour and the gold and the... When have we humbled ourselves and say, hey, I need help. I need help on this project. I need help on this goal. I need help. Maybe I don't need to always talk back to someone. Maybe somebody else, let them have the last word. I need help just to brighten my tongue and smile. Reaching out to someone else to break that dormancy. Because when you've been in a place for too long, God didn't call you to be anybody's doormat. Nobody's doormat. He didn't call a flower to stay in the ground forever. Sooner or later, it has to prop up and serve its purpose. As I want you to close, and I just want to talk about this shovel just for a second. And shout out to Miss Deborah for this t-shirt, because it truly came from Miss Deborah. Thank you, Miss Deborah. My time is now. It's the slogan that's on this t-shirt. And when I bring in this slogan with breaking dormancy, one mechanism that many farmers used to help the crops to grow or to help the plants to grow was they had to take the head of the shovel and break what was trying to break through the ground. What do you have in your hand that represents a shovel? Of course, now my shovel, I love color. I love to dazzle. But trust me, once I remove this pearl, these blings, and this color, this is still a shovel. This is still my weapon to help me break through some things that I'm struggling with, some purposes that I'm trying, some promises that I'm trying to bring to pass, some projects that I'm trying to work on. It's procrastination. One of those deal breakers that I need to take out my shovel and say, girl, get to work. You know what is required of you. You have to really look at your own life and find out what areas in your life is so hard that you need a shovel to break through. Maybe it is unforgiveness in your heart. Oh, we've all been hurt. We know it. And let's be honest, some of us have hurt others as well. So maybe there's a hardened heart there. Maybe there's a mom and a daughter relationship that needs to be restored. Or maybe there's a son and a father relationship that needs to be restored. Or maybe that may have never been there. Maybe God is using you as the shovel to break through into somebody else's life. When we're encouraging someone and mentoring others, we have to be transparent and let them know somebody else had to come along with the shovel and tell me, girl, let that go. Forgive him. Let that go. Go on with your life. Girl, going back to school and get that degree. Go ahead and write that book. I'm guilty. I wrote it. I haven't published it yet. So what shovel? Or you need to grab your shovel. Can I say that? Because we all have a shovel. We all need shovels. Because shovel is what breaks the ground. It is the head of the shovel that breaks what's hard. Sometimes we're waiting on someone to come along and save us, someone to rescue us. Yes, you may need that push. But God can be using you as that shovel to break through your own ground. You may be your own breakthrough to your breakthrough. Maybe God has already placed talents and gifts and callings on the inside of you that you need to take the head of that shovel and break through that hard ground. Break through those stony places in your life that only you can change. Nobody else knows your story. Nobody else can tell your story like you. And nobody can be you but you. Nobody. Because just like this shovel, a lot of times we would dress up our struggles to let you know that there's not a hard place there, but actually there is. A lot of times, just like this shovel, we'll dress it up, we'll pose with it, we'll take pictures, we blinging, but what are we bringing? He said, now you got your own ground that you have to till. A harvest is coming, but you got to put in the work. So as you're placed with a shovel in your hand, what is lying dormant in your life that you need to break? I can't give you steps A through Z. And this is not an Alcoholics Anonymous program. So I can't tell you what steps you have to do to break through your own ground. I can only tell you what works for me. Sure enough, I always got to give praise to God. Yeah, I said sure enough. I always got to give praise unto God. But I realized God is not going to do everything. He said, you got the tool in your hand. I'm not going to come down and dig for you. Sometimes you got to get dirty in order to become clean. Yeah, I said that again. Sometimes you got to get dirty your own self in order to get clean. So sometimes, yeah, we do got to kick off these heels and get dirty. Sometimes we got to deal with issues, mother issue, daddy issues. Sometimes we got to go back and dig, okay, what's causing me to be so angry with this person? Why does every time this person comes around, things flare up? What have I pushed to the bottom of my purpose that God really wants to use, not only for me, but for the next generation? Because your purpose is not just for you, it is for somebody else. So no matter what size shovel you think you may need, maybe small, big, maybe you say, I don't need all of that, Najwa. Maybe I just need the base of the shovel. Maybe I really do need to break into some hard places. Only you know how to break it. And that's why it's called breaking dormancy. And yet it ties into today's, what we're dealing with in today's society. Breaking dormancy, speaking up for those that don't have a voice. fighting, coming out of our comfort zones. Oh, I don't want to be involved in that, but it affects me and the next generation. So now I need to speak up. Even if it don't show up on my doorstep now, 3 generations down the line, it may show up. And who's to know, you may be the Esther that saves your entire family. So what do you need to break in your life? You're blossoming. You're blossoming right where you're at. But you still have that but in the back of your mind. But this one thing, but this, but that. So all of us have our own shovel, whether we know it or not. Either you can become the shovel, or you can pick up the shovel and break through the hard and stony places, so that you can no longer be anybody's doormat, that you'll break through dormancy. You'll break everything that has been normal, because what has been normal has actually been causing our mind. We've been trying to live in a zone and live from A to Z. And God said, no, I've always called you to be a barrier breaker. You're supposed to break through barriers. I didn't call you to walk in paths. I told you bring your shovel along, because you're getting ready to till new ground. You're getting ready to help write and create laws. So what are some places in your life that you know for a fact you done had dreams? You done wrote out business plans. You didn't sing being in the room with elite people. And don't forget, the next level sometimes requires you to walk in just not knowing, but it's still welcoming you to the next level. So I pray that you got a thought out of breaking dormancy. No longer being anybody's doormat. No longer lying dormant to secure somebody else. But taking what God has placed on the inside of you. Take your shovel. Take your purpose in hand. And break everything that has been lying dormant in your life. Be blessed.